Hey friends, welcome back. Today I want to talk about kids' room organization, and I want to share the easy 3-bin organization that I use in my kids' rooms that I think everyone should use. I've been doing this for years and will definitely use this for years to come. You can start this when they're babies up through when they're teenagers. I also want to talk about the seasonal refresh I do in my kids' room as well. Plus, stay tuned as I declutter some things I've been waiting to declutter for over 8 years. So I'm here in my 3-year-old's room and I want to show you the 3 bins that I think should be in every child's room. This first bin is an outgrown clothes bin. If you have kids, you know just how fast they grow. Starting with when my kids were babies, I put a bin like this in each of their rooms. It helps the clothes that no longer fit from becoming excess clutter. It keeps things streamlined so they only have the clothes out that actually fit them. I found this helps a lot with frustration, both on my part and their part, of having too many clothes out at once. I like to teach my kids independence and choices, so it is really empowering for them to have only the clothes out that are the ones that they can choose from, instead of me having to tell them that they can't wear that because it's too small. It doesn't have to be a big bin, but the smaller you make it, the more often you have to empty it. It can be a bag, a bin, a box, a basket, whatever you have. I use these bins from IKEA because they fit really well in this space. The second bin I have in each of my kids' rooms is an off-season clothes bin. So we live in an area with very defined seasons. Usually though, during the early fall and sometimes in the spring, we have to be a little bit flexible since we have some days that get a little bit warmer or colder. But there comes a time when it's obvious we're done with summer clothes, for example. We are definitely heading into cold weather here, so I can safely put away all the shorts and swim clothes, which is why I find it so necessary to do a seasonal refresh. I'll get to that in just a minute. This third bin doesn't have anything to do with clothes, but I think it's an essential bin for each child, and I like to keep it in my kids' rooms, specifically their closets, for easy access. This is what my kids call their special box. I've done an entire video on these as a way to organize kids' school keepsakes, but we keep things in here besides school papers. This is anything that I want to save, maybe the hat we brought them home from the hospital in, their ultrasound pictures, etc. This one belongs to my toddler, so it is different than the ones I have for my older kids. Once he's in school, I'll upgrade his box with the file folders and labels that my older kids have. As my kids get older, they do have a say in what we keep and what ends up in their special box. If there's something that I want to keep, but maybe they really don't want to keep, then that is something that probably should be kept in my special box. Now, you may be saying, but my kid's closet doesn't have built-ins, or maybe your kid's room doesn't even have a closet. You don't need built-ins or even a closet at all to make this system work. Our builder put these built-ins in each of our closets, and I love them. However, I used this system in our last house where we had very basic, very small closets. There are many different ways to make this work if space is an issue. You could just use simple boxes at the top of the closet. You could use a behind-the-door storage system or a hanging shelf on the closet rod. It doesn't have to be fancy to be functional. I do recommend that you keep these bins in your kids' rooms for easy access, and I do recommend that you keep it where it will not be somewhere where your child will go through it often. My older kids can reach these bins, but as long as I'm doing my job of doing a seasonal refresh to go through things often so they have the clothes they need when they need them, they have no interest in being in these bins at all. The special box is one that my older kids love to look through, and I'm fine letting them do that, but we don't leave it down for them to go through all the time. They do ask for their special boxes from time to time, but for the sake of keeping things special, we don't have them out and in circulation all the time. Now, keep in mind that these things are not things that my kids actively want. For example, if my kids have a birthday card that they want to keep, it stays down where they can enjoy it for a few weeks or months or whatever. But if it's something that I know that we do want to preserve, it will eventually make it to the kids' special box once it seems like they're caring less and less about it and it's going to start to become damaged. We make pretty regular passes through the special boxes a couple or few times a year, and they can take things out that they don't want to keep anymore. My older 2 kids will also bring me things that they want to put into their special boxes, and I'm happy to put those things in. Now, for a seasonal refresh. It is fall where we live, and we've had a really nice, kind of unseasonably warm fall so far, but we have a lot of cold weather on the horizon. We've been pulling out long pants and long sleeve shirts for a little while, but we still have some of the shorts and short sleeve shirts in circulation, so we need to get those put away. So I'm going to go through and switch out what is in these bins with the clothes from their drawers. I start by taking everything out of the off-season clothes bin so that I can take the clothes that are now off-season out of their drawers and put them in the bins, which will then go back into the closet. So basically, I'm just switching out the items from the dressers with the items from the bins. I'm also looking for anything from the off-season clothes bin that might now be too small. All of my kids have similar 3-drawer dressers, and through trial and error and input from my big kids, we've set them up in a very similar way. One thing I found so helpful is to have the least amount of stuff in my kids' rooms. Now, if your kids are like my kids, they love to have their little treasures and stuff like that. I'm fine with that, but I do like to give them a place to put it so it doesn't end up everywhere, as well as a boundary to limit it, since not everything is really special. Top drawer is whatever they want to put in it. My 3-year-old isn't really to the age where he's acquiring a lot of little treasures that he cares a lot about yet, but we do have some other things that we keep in this top drawer. We do keep the toys in the playroom upstairs, but if there's a little toy that they got from their birthday party or Halloween or whatever, they're welcome to put it here. They know that it's safe here and that their siblings aren't going to come in and break it. If it's in the playroom, well, it's kind of free game. Most of the things that my older kids have in their top drawers are things that they don't want in the playroom. I'm here in my daughter's room now, and I'm just going to go through the off-season and outgrown clothes bins in her room. At the beginning of the school year, I do go through my big kids' clothes and see what they'll need for the upcoming school year, so I'm not necessarily looking for outgrown school clothes, but I am looking for anything that I know they won't be able to wear next year. Both of my older kids had a few summer clothes that they had loved and worn to the bitter end, and since they were getting a little on the small side the last little while they wore them, I know they won't be an option for next year. I'm also switching out the clothes that are now off-season for the ones that are now on-season. I'm now in my oldest son's room, and I'm going to go through his outgrown clothes and off-season clothes bins and switch out anything that he can't wear right now. My daughter, as well as my toddler son's outgrown clothes, will get donated, but my oldest son's clothes will go into bins for my toddler to grow into. And also, when I put away clothes that don't fit anymore, we don't have any attachment to those things because they're excited about the things that fit. I'm going to move into the mudroom and put away any flip-flops or summer shoes or any shoes that just don't fit anymore. I know at least 2 of my kids have some outgrown shoes in here. I always have to buy my kids new flip-flops each year because they've outgrown their old ones, but I do hold on to them until next summer just to make sure. I have this bin in the garage for winter clothes. This is where the kids' winter clothes live when it's warm outside. And this is also where I store their flip-flops during the winter. I need to go through this bin and see who needs new gloves, hats, snow pants, boots, etc., and who can still wear the ones from last year. I have a basket that I keep on the shelf of my coat closet, and this is where we keep our gloves, hats, scarves, and all of the small winter items. I only keep 1 of each of these items for each member of the family. We haven't needed any more than that, and by having such a low amount of those items, it has kept the winter gear from becoming overwhelming and just turning into a big mess. Now, for some exciting decluttering news. My oldest child is 8.5. I have had a child in diapers for 8.5 years consecutively. None of my kids have been particularly early potty trainers, so we've always had overlap, and we have always had a new baby while having a toddler still in diapers. But we recently bit the bullet and potty trained my toddler once he was ready. He did so well with it, but now we have quite a bit of diaper stuff that we need to get rid of. I'll admit it's a little bittersweet to not have a baby in the house anymore, but we are having so much fun with the milestones that come as our kids get older. One of those milestones being not having anyone in diapers. So today I'm going to round up all the diaper stuff and figure out what to do with everything. I am going to go through my house, my car, everywhere I can think of, and get rid of all the diapering essentials. I know I've got diapers in multiple places, in my purse probably, in my car, in the closet, everywhere. Changing pad, diaper pail, all sorts of things. I have a lot. We have acquired a lot of things that have to do with diapers. So I'm going to go through and declutter and give away and throw away all of that stuff. And it's gonna feel so good. I have some neighbor friends with kids still in diapers, so I'm gonna see if anybody wants these diapers. Diapers are ridiculously expensive. I know I had a neighbor that gave me some diapers once her kids were out of them, and it's such a nice way to pay it forward. Now, we do still use wipes a lot in the car. My kids clean their hands with them pretty often, so we're going to hang on to these wipes that we still have left. They will eventually get used. This changing pad has seen better days, so I'm going to toss this. I guess this kind of negates the need for a diaper bag. More.
What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
I brought you down here for a very express purpose.
Okay.
Okay, what is this?
The diaper bin. And are we finally getting rid of it?
Yes, we are. I'm going to let you do the honors because you were the one that had to empty it for the past
What's the
8.5 years.
song? Do, 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 Yay!
Okay, now it's time to get rid of the changing pad. This is so old. It is falling apart. Nobody's gonna want this. So I'm gonna see if Camden wants to get rid of it. You wanna say hi?
Hi.
Do you wear diapers anymore?
Yeah.
No, what do you wear?
Oh,
You wear underwears. So we don't need this anymore. I'm gonna go throw it away in the big trash can. Let's go! You ready? Okay, here we go. Done. Are you a big boy now? Say, I'm a big boy.
I'm big.
You're a good boy. Because we kept the diaper rash cream and baby lotion in the dresser here, we had baby-proof latches on the drawers so that my toddler couldn't get in and spill them. We learned with my oldest that little toddlers love to play in lotion and diaper rash cream, so we've always just had latches on here. Now that he's potty trained, we won't have diaper rash cream in here anymore, so we won't need the latches. I'm just taking off as much of the adhesive from the latches as I can, and then I love to use lemon oil to get any of the sticky residue off. It's a great natural solution and it smells great when it's all done. We've had several pieces of white IKEA furniture over the years, and it has all had the same finish that you just can't quite match with regular paint. But I figured out several years ago that using roll-on whiteout to cover scratches on the white IKEA furniture is an easy and inexpensive way to revive it a little bit. It's obviously not a perfect match, but it does a great job of covering it up for a very low cost. I've used this quite a few times and have had great results. Now I want to talk about some of my tried and true organizing tips for kids' rooms. My number one biggest tip for kids' rooms organization is to have the least amount of things in there as possible. I don't mean that everyone has to be a minimalist, but I have found that my kids do so much better with less. Do your kids have clothes that they just don't wear and that they always pass by? Or socks that maybe they never wear because they slide off of their feet? I have found that giving my kids a bigger voice in what they wear, and this does come with age, but it prevents less waste, less frustration, and less clutter. Less waste because everything in their closet is an option, and less waste because there's less money spent on things that just don't get worn. This prevents less frustration because the kids are happy with what they're wearing and they feel good in what they're wearing. And so there's less negotiation to get kids to wear things. I've done this with my oldest until I realized there are certain clothes that he just doesn't want to wear, no matter how cute I think they are. I've heard it said that most of us are minimalists when it comes to clothes because we all tend to wear the same rotation of clothes anyway. After a certain age, I think kids are kind of the same way. Now, what about if you have a child who loves variety and loves to change their clothes multiple times a day? Well, it's up to you to decide how much stuff you want to have and how often you want to have to do laundry. You get to put the parameters around that. I personally don't want to wash my kids' clothes more than once a week. So we have enough clothes to make it through a full week without much more than that. That has been very reasonable and worked very well for our family. My second tip is to have a clear space for everything, especially if you don't have a designated playroom for your kids, so maybe you have to keep their toys in their rooms. You can make any room functional, keeping in mind to only keep the toys that the kids actually play with. Having a clear spot in their drawer or their closet for socks, underwear, shirts, pants, dressier clothes, etc. Having a clear bin or spot for their box or toys is essential as well. Another tip, not having excess furniture. My 3-year-old has the bare minimum of a dresser and a bed, and it works perfect for him. When he was littler, we had a rocking chair in here, and that was perfect for the time, but as he's gotten older, that was something that we didn't need anymore. He may eventually get a desk and a chair like my big kids have, but for now, this is perfect for him. He loves having the room to play. He's transitioning out of needing a nap, so we will bring some toys down to his room at what we now call quiet time instead of nap time. And he can have some quiet time in the afternoons, or on days when he really needs it, he can choose to take a nap. I hope this was helpful. I hope this has given you some tips on how to better organize your kids' rooms. If you have any organization tips, I would love to hear them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, friends.
Please watch friends.
Have a great day.
Good day.